This is a DIY instant print digital camera. This particular one has dual cameras, so front-facing and a selfie camera. I was sent this to review for free. If you wanted to purchase it, it would cost you about $37. They haven't paid me for the review, and my opinions remain my own. So in the box we have a little carry thing that kind of organizes stuff. There's a USB drive that's a USB-A port to a micro SD card reader. They include a micro SD card reader and a little tool that's for pushing those buttons that open phones and reset things. There's the actual camera itself. And my particular model has the green. There's other pastel colors you can do. And there's the trans flash or micro SD card slot there where I'm assuming we have to put this thing in. It's also powered 5-volt DC via USB-C port. It looks like they have included a USB-A to C charging cable. There's also, it looks like a little lanyard. It looks like it has one of these clips that can pop off pretty easily, so you can wear this around your neck and then take the camera off the thing and put it back on pretty easily. There doesn't appear to be a release for this guy. I'm not sure if this is a snap. It looks like it's a rivet, so it doesn't have one of those things on the back that pops open if this thing gets caught on something. And then it has an instruction manual. This side of it is in foreign languages. Alright, this side here is the English side. And we get 3 rolls of the thermal paper. One thing I like about these cameras is this thermal paper is very generic. It's essentially receipt paper. As long as you have the correct width and the correct size of the actual roll, you can buy that just about anywhere. It might have paper inside already. I see what looks like a little bit of paper there. Yes, it does include a 4th roll of paper inside. So you get 3 rolls here and then a roll there. It's pre-inserted, so you don't have to worry about that until they run out of the first roll. And this one's pretty easy. It's pretty obvious how to open it. There's 2 little catches here, and it's very obvious you're just supposed to pop that forward and put the paper in that way. Now, it has 2 lenses. There's one up here, and then there's a selfie lens up there. There's a little screen with a screen protection here. Alright, by trial and error, I have determined that the metallic contacts of the card go on the same side as the screen, and so when you put it in that way, use a fingernail, push it in, it goes in. There is a reset button, and so that explains this tool. That's for pressing the reset button if the camera needs to be reset. So I'm happy that they've included that reset tool, and the micro SD card has pretty much everything you need to run this guy. Alright, so when you plug this into a power source, it draws just under 1 amp, so 5 volts at 0.9 amps. So pretty much any USB-A port will be able to power this guy up. And it does turn on the screen, has a little light here with a blue light on it. I'm not sure if you can turn it off while it's charging or not. Let's see what happens when I turn it off. Alright, so turned off, it's still charging the battery. You see there's a red light here. I'm assuming that light changes to blue or turns off when it's done charging. It's only drawing 0.7 amps while it's charging with the screen off. So by default, when you turn the camera on, if you take a picture, it takes a picture and then it immediately prints it without having to press the print button. So I took a picture of these little reindeer, not the best lighting, not the best scene, and you can see what it prints out here. Obviously it's a grayscale printout. It's decent resolution, I'd say maybe 100 dpi or so. It's a representation of what's there. Obviously, I think if you take the picture off the card, you're going to get a better color picture, but as a little printer for a kid, I think it's going to be very enjoyable. All right, so next up, I took it outside, took a picture of this tree house in decent sunlighting. And the image isn't bad. I mean, you can definitely tell what it's supposed to be. It's the tree house there. It is grayscale, obviously, but it's not a bad image for a little, very inexpensive photo printer kid's toy. And to remove it, you just pull upward at a diagonal and it rips off. There's a little serrated blade. It's safely inside there. Nobody's going to cut themselves on it unless they were to open this and reach inside. Now, it does seem to not have the picture centered in that, when you cut off here, the next picture prints a 1/4 inch in, but this cutoff is right at the edge of the current picture. All right, so out of the box, to turn it on, you have to push and hold the power button. You can't just tap, you have to push and hold. And once it's been there for a second or so, it says welcome. And this thing pops up into your menu. So the first option is take a picture. You move off to the right, you have a video, you have listen to music, you have review pictures we've already taken, we have games, and we have settings. So, if you just go right into the take a picture mode, if you push the button, it will take a picture, record it to the card, and it will automatically print it. There's a little return arrow button here that goes back to the menu, and then you can move into the other modes. So for example, here is pictures I've already taken. I have, the outdoor treehouse, the reindeer on the floor. So if you're at a picture you've already taken and you want to delete it, you can tap the power button. It gives you this menu. It's basically cancel the delete or OK, do the delete. But to select that, you push the photo button. And successful operation, it deletes the photo, and now we have this one. Now you have to be careful because the take a picture button, if you just push it, will automatically print the photo. You might think the printer button would do that, and it might too, but the photo button does that, and so you might get an extra printout that you weren't expecting. Now, by default, out of the box, this little icon between the 48 megapixel and the battery is on. It looks like a little printer in a box. And if you take a picture, it will then automatically print the picture. If you don't want that, there's a print button over here. You just tap the print button and that icon goes away. And now you can take a picture, it'll store it, but it won't print it by default. Now, if you want to print a picture that you've previously stored, you have to go down to the Hey, Review My Pictures idea. Go in there, find the picture, and then you have to push the printing button to turn that thing on, and you push the camera button to actually print the picture out the front of the camera. Now, to change the settings, you go into the toolbox settings icon, and you have things like, hey, do I want to print the photo on or off, the image quality, the video size, the print modes. So print modes, we have gray or dot printing. That's basically their dithering quality. We have the print density, so if you think it needs to be darker or lighter, you can change that. They have the date stamp, which is set to on. So if you don't want a date and time stamp on your pictures, you'll want to go into that, move that to off, and set it to off. You can change the language. It defaults to English. There's a screensaver, auto power off after 5 minutes, and you can set the date and time in here as well. Now, my camera comes with version 2025 11.7 v1.2, so that's relatively recent. So if there are a lot of pictures that you want to delete, you can go to the format that will format the micro SD card. It will delete all photos on the card. So if you pull the card out of the camera, you can put it in this guy and plug it into a computer to pull the pictures off onto a USB-A port computer. That guy into my computer, it shows up as a 67 gigabyte file system. It was supposed to be a 64 gigabyte SD card, but it actually looks like it has slightly more than that. It's just a FAT or FAT standard Windows kind of basic file system. In the file system, there's basically a folder for videos, a folder for photos, and a folder for MP3s. And because I have factory formatted this with the camera, those are all empty. I'm going to put some MP3 files into the MP3 folder. So the transfer write speed on this 64 gigabyte micro SD card was 4 megabytes a second. So it's pretty fine for, a kid's camera, but don't expect to be using this in real cameras. Alright, I loaded some MP3 files onto the micro SD card to test out the music player and the little headphone icon here. When you go in, it says, hey, here's your files. You can, pick any of the files, hit the button, it'll jump to that file. When you're playing a song, if you hit this button with the camera logo, it'll pause, hit it again, it'll start. The forward-backwards buttons will jump to the next track and then start playing that. The printer button over here pops up your list of all the tracks, and you can select between them and pick a different one. Now I believe the music is coming out of this guy here. Obviously it's a little bit tinny given the size of the speaker, but it's not bad as a little MP3 player. I could see this especially for audiobooks for children. Alright, so I am recording with this camera. On the little tiny screen it looks reasonably well. There is some flickering from my LED lighting, but this is the image quality. It looks like it's focused very well, kind of, any distance focus here. So here's a video outside in good sun. And so if the volume's not turned to 0, you can hear the audio of the video through the little speaker. And when you push and hold to exit, it goes baby. So if you plug it into your computer, by default it loads as a drive, and you can download the videos and pictures off of it. So if you remove the micro SD card and plug it into a computer, it acts as a USB webcam. So when working as a USB webcam, the maximum size is 640 by 480 pixels. So I've read through the English side of the manual. It does a pretty good job. It's pretty clear and understandable. The only thing I really needed the manual to figure out is how to switch between the forward and the selfie lens. And so if you're in the picture or video mode, you hit the power button briefly and it will switch to the selfie mode. Now in photo mode, if you push left or right, you can do different filters. So some of the filters are just like color hues, which really I don't find very exciting. There's things like kaleidoscope mirror mode, which I'm sure kids would love these things, but I don't find them terribly compelling. Now what I do find compelling are the overlays. So you can have things where you frame something, like the beach scene here or a postcard, and basically you can have, in this case it's a face, you line up with somebody's face and they get a mouth and nose, snout, and that type of thing. And so you can use these for making cards. They have some of them that have places to write, like Merry Christmas. So if you take a picture and print, when it prints this guy out, it's going to have your picture and then this Merry Christmas and some information that you can put down yourself with the pen or crayons or whatever. And so I think some of those overlays are very useful and interesting with the printer attached to the camera. Here's some examples of the image quality it prints. I mean, it is a thermal receipt paper printer, but it's not bad given, what it's printing on here. So reviewing the images and pictures on a big screen or on a laptop, they're not great. I mean, it is a low-cost kids camera with a very simplistic lens. It's about as good as you need to print things on the paper here. They're not horrible, but you can definitely do better at this price point if you buy a camera that doesn't have the printer built in. But this is, I think, it's designed for a kid's camera. Kids have fun. You're not really expecting to get super high quality images off of this SD card, I don't think. I think this is something you give to your kids, let them have fun. You can take the images off the SD card and email them to a grandparent or something. It's not something you're going to be using high quality printing. So this makes a good kid's gift. It's all in one, includes extra paper, all the accessories they need to connect it to a computer or to charge it. The only thing it doesn't come is an AC adapter. Pretty much everybody has a USB-A port connected to a power supply or a computer that they can plug into to charge this guy. And then when they're not taking pictures, they can go into the games icon. And there are multiple different games. I'm going to guess this is Snake. Yep, there's Snake. So Snake might be hard to play with only... Oops, I pushed the wrong button. Let's see how this works. Okay, that button goes down. You can turn... Okay. Alright, so this button goes up. This button goes right, this button goes down, that button goes left. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to eat this thing or not. Oops, I pushed the wrong button. Okay, there we go. So the hardest part of this Snake game is remembering which button maps to up and down. It's going pretty slow. It may be at some point it gets more challenging. But it is for children, so maybe not. Oop, apparently I died. I think I ran into myself. Alright, another game which is block brick. We have a block breaking game. This one is more appropriately mapped to the left-right buttons. So we have a block breaking game, which works pretty well with the left-right buttons. A Tetris clone. We have a push the boxes to get to things type game. Oh, and I messed myself up. Alright, they have 4 games built in. There's kind of a brick breaking game that works well with the left-right arrow keys. There's the snake game, and you have to remember, which of these buttons is up and down. There's the Tetris clone, which works reasonably well. And then there's a push a box around to cover the dots type game. So it's not a full handheld gaming console, but I'm sure it's not a full handheld gaming console, but I'm sure kids would appreciate having that feature. Now, it does beep a lot in the games, so we're going to check the settings and see if there's a way to turn the volume to 0. Alright, so in the settings, there's this volume setting. It's at 7 by default, and yes, if you turn it to 0, then these button clicks do not make noises. Let me go into the games and just confirm that, yes, there's no noises in the game if the volume is set to 0.